Games serve a lot of purposes: competition, entertainment, mental stimulation, icebreaker. But more often, as the world of hobby gaming brings in more passionate and knowledgeable people from all walks of life, and publishers try to carve out a niche with unique and original themes, games can be a looking glass into a completely different lived experience, as may be the case for Nightshift. You and your fellow players are exotic dancers in this game published by Exotic Cancer, trying to grab attention and earn as much money before the night is through. Each round, you'll move around the floor, revealing patrons and attempting to attract them with charm, drinks, and a little bit of polyhedral seduction. If you hook them on the line, you can participate in one of two different push your luck mini games in the VIP room or private room. One, a mood-based seduction dice roll, one, a card-based private dance using cards, ultimately cashing in rewards. Patrons have unique stats and effects. Each dancer has their own ability to lean into, and a couple other mechanisms like clearing and refreshing unclaimed patrons, stealing patrons from another girl, and investing your cash into more drink tokens keep things engaging in a breezy pace, and most money at the end wins. Okay. Well, okay. I want to preface this by saying, without any judgment whatsoever, that I've never been to a strip club. I'm not morally repulsed by safe sex work. I have no problem with people who have gone to them, and I'm not here to shame anyone's gig. I've been to and done some wild things over my years, but going to a strip club just happens to not have been one of them. I just want to provide a little bit of context because my baseline for this sort of thing comes from the world of playing punk and metal shows, from burlesque shows and drag shows, but not actually going to strip clubs themselves. So me coming into this game is really born out of sheer curiosity and being DTP. And through that lens, it's fine. It's fine. It's the best exotic dancing and sex-positive modern hobby game that I've played, but the game really is the theme, and divorced from that theme, it's competent, though altogether shallow. Most of the systems are based around random chance. You often move to unrevealed patrons that flip only after you move. Then you roll dice to see if you attract them. Then to make the most money, you're pushing your luck in one way or another. You do have a couple well-implemented mitigation strategies from the drinks or some card effects, but there's no real sense of momentum or strategy, which is part of what makes this such a fascinating conundrum in the first place. It has the set dressing, the hinting at a more involved and rich game without really being able to sell itself on that. On the other hand, sometimes a good enough game that really executes on a fascinating, original, unique theme is all you really need. It's sometimes hard to tell how much Nightshift is laughing at or laughing with the industry on display, though I tend to side with the latter. From clearly going for sex appeal on the girls, but generally unflattering and kinda creepy depictions on patrons, to industry jokes, excruciating results like spotting dad as a patron, to the incredible resonance of having the final round take place in the last call with the lights turned on, flipping all previously unrevealed patrons in horrifying relief. If there's any mean spirit, it comes through at the patrons, which is a mixed bag too. On the one hand, I can only imagine what realities a dancer has to deal with. On the other, it reinforces the stereotypes of the industry as something salacious for frat bros, perverts, and freaks. There are exceptions, but it's not exactly opening my eyes to another side of the profession. Lastly, while there are female attendees, I'm frankly surprised that the only player characters are conventionally pretty, gender-typical women without much variance. Sure, one could be described as curvy, repping some body positivity, but if sex positivity is part of the goal, it'd have been nice to see some player character options from across the sexual spectrum, though perhaps that's born out of my ignorance about authentic representation of this scene. Nightshift is remarkable in the most literal sense of the word that it deserves to be remarked on for its contribution in breaking new ground for this hobby. There have been other sexual themed board games out there. This is a genuine attempt at uplifting the dancers, putting them in control, and doing so with modern game design sensibilities. Personally, it's not something that I'm planning on holding on to. The gameplay isn't deep enough to really drive it to the table, and the more casual audience that I might play this type of game with might have a hard time keeping a straight face with the game's theme. But it might have a place in your collection if the theme itself, the setting, the novelty of it really speaks to you. But even if it's not for me, this is an example of what an amazing, diverse world games can be. The fact that this was a successful, popular, and lavishly produced Kickstarter is awesome. A game that might well bridge some gaps and attract new players to the hobby who might not otherwise want to slay Urix and attach fission drives to their Corsairs or sell rugs on the Black Sea. As a game, it ultimately comes across as kind of dull. But as an experiment and a novelty, it succeeds. And that's our review. But let me know, what is your favorite completely unique theme within the hobby, and what did you think about the execution of that? Was it surprising? Was it something that you expected? Was it something that you were a subject matter expert on? And what do you think about this game? Do you feel like it's exploitative or that it's empowering? Put it in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for being such an awesome community. You know that I've been Jack for the Cardboard Herald.